one of them gives the number of positive divisors of a positive integer. So we are following this number theory by David Barton. This is a very nice book, very important book for number theory. So these are number theory functions. What do you mean by number theory? In the last class I had done function. So any function which has a domain as the set of natural numbers, okay, is a number theoretic or subset of natural numbers. Okay. F from n to something, okay, n to this, okay, it's called a number theoretic function. Any function whose domain of definition is the set of positive integers, okay, is called although the value of a number theoretic function is not required to be a positive integer or even an integer, most of them are integer values. Yeah. Okay. So any function whose domain is this set of natural numbers. Okay. The codomain may be anything you would like. Means real numbers. So functions defined on the set of positive integers. These are called number theoretic, or this has got another name. This has got another name. This is called arithmetic. So in degree classes usually we see a function whose domain is the set of natural numbers is called a sequence. So you can take it as a sequence also. But for the time being we are not interested in the sequence part. In analysis those functions are called sequence. Okay, so that is not required for us now. We require the number theoretic aspect, divisibility, areas and everything. So this tau is also a number theoretic function. So this function gives what? The function tau. So it's a function. This tau is a function from n to n. Okay. It is a function from the set of natural numbers to the set of natural numbers, where tau of n is equal to the number of positive divisors of n. Tau of n is the number of positive divisors of n. Okay. So for example, what is tau of 2? Tau of 2 means the number of positive divisors of 2. So 2 positive divisor kata ase? Only 2. 1 and 2. 1 is a positive divisor, 2 is another positive divisor. Okay. So this is what is tau of 1? Tau of 1 is 1. Only 1 positive divisor. Okay. Tau of 10. What is tau of 10? How many positive divisors are there? 4. Actually 1, another is 2, another is 5, another is 10 itself. Okay. So tau of 10 is always 4. Okay. Understood? It gives us the number of positive divisors. How many divisors are there? Okay. Right. Similarly, so if p is a prime number, if p is prime, what can you say about tau of p? 2. 2. A prime number has only 2 positive divisors. Okay. So if a number is prime, then the only positive divisors are 1 and p. Okay. So for a prime number, tau of p is 2. Okay. Right. The other way, if tau of n is 2, can I say that n is a prime number? That is that true also? If tau of n is 2, can I say that n is prime? Can you justify? If tau of n is 2, can we say that n is a prime number? So what is the definition of a prime number? A prime number is a number which has exactly 2 positive divisors. Not less, not more. So and tau of n gives what? It gives us the number of positive divisors also. Okay, so if we have a number for which tau of n is equal to 2, that means n has only two positive divisors, but those two positive divisors have to be what?
One and the number.
One and number itself. They are always divisors of any number. Okay. So the n has two divisors, but we already know that 1 and n are also divisors of n. Okay. So those two divisors are counted here. Okay. So that means the number n has no other divisors, only 1 and itself. Okay. That means n is a prime number. Okay. So if tau of n is 2, n has to be prime. Okay. Yes. And what is the smallest value that tau of n can take? For any natural number, tau of n is always greater than or equal to what? 1. The only number which can take tau of n as 1 is 1 itself. Okay. There is no other number for which tau of n will be 1. Okay. Because only 1 has one positive divisor. Every other number has at least 2. Okay. 1 and itself. Okay. Prime number has exactly 2. Okay. Any other number will have more than 2. Okay. So some observations that we can make here is what? Some observations are this. One is this: tau of n is always greater than or equal to 1 for every n belongs to natural number. Okay. Tau of n equal to 2 implies and is implied by n is prime. And tau of n is always strictly greater than 2 if n is not prime. Okay. If n is not prime. If n is not a prime number, tau of n will be at least 3. At least 3 will be. Here, so this is a number theoretic way. Next, you have this one. Okay. So how can I write this? Let us define this also. Sigma is a function from n to n. So what is sigma? Sigma of n is the sum of all positive divisors. Positive divisors of n. Okay. Sigma of n is the sum of all positive divisors. Okay. Jotota positive divisors ase, you take the sum of all that. Okay. Then that function is the sigma of n. Okay. So say for example, sigma of 1, what is that? What are the divisors of 1? Only 1. So sigma of 1 is 1. What is the sigma of 2? It is the sum of all positive divisors of 2. 1 plus 2. 3. No? Sigma of 4 is 1 plus 2 plus 4. That will show 7. The sigma of 4 is 7. Right? Similarly, what is sigma of 12? The sigma of 12 will be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. Okay, so whatever it is, 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 12 is 22. 22 plus 28. Okay. So sigma of 12 is 28. Similarly, so what will be sigma of p if p is a prime? If p is prime, what is sigma of p? This will be just p plus 1 because p has only two positive divisors, 1 and 2 plus 3. Okay. So sigma of p is always equal to p plus 1 if it is a prime number. Okay, in general, if n is greater than 1, if n is greater than 1, okay, sigma of n equal to 1, can I write this implies what? N is sigma of n equal to 1. From here, can I write n is what? N is 1. Okay. The only number for which sigma of n is 1 is 1 itself. Okay. For every other number, it will be greater than 1. Because 1 is there itself is there at least. Okay. So sigma of n is always greater than or equal to n plus 1. Okay. For all n greater than or equal to 1. Oh, sorry. For all n greater than 1. Okay. So sigma of n is at least n plus 1. Okay. So this is there. Can you find out what is sigma of here? What is tau of 12,000? What is this? Tau of 12,000. Mane number of positive divisors of 12,000. We have already done this type of problem. Counting principles. In counting principles, I taught. Okay, how to count this number of positive divisors of 12,000. And for 2, 3 we have already done. If you have something like 12,000, then how many divisors will be there? This is the number of divisors. 48. So what we do is we write 12,000 as, what is the system? We have to factorize it, prime factorization. Okay. We factorize this 12 into 1,000. 1,000 is more 2 cube into 2 cube into 5 cube. And this you can write as 2 square into 3 into 2 cube into 5 cube. So this is actually 2 to the power 5 into 3 into 5 cube. Okay. 2 to the power 5 into 3 into 5 cube. Clear? So next we will apply the counting principle. Okay. So how will you apply? We will apply this. Any divisor of 12,000 is of the form. In a higher secondary, the permutation combination chapter, this is one of the standard problem. Okay. In normal higher secondary course also, any divisor of 12,000 is of the form what? 2 to the power. See, what are the prime factors of 12,000? 2, 3, 5. Okay. Any divisor of 12,000 will be of the form 2 to the power say R1 into 3 to the power R2 into 5 to the power R3. Okay. Where what are the restrictions on R1, R2, R3? R1 can take what values? 0, 1, 2 up to 5. So, is it clear? R1, the possible values are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, not more than that. It cannot be 2 to the power 6 because the largest power of 2 in 12,000 is 5. Okay. So R1 cannot take the value 6. Right. Similarly, this R2, what are the values it can take? 0 and 1. Okay. It may happen that suppose 2 is a divisor of this. Okay. So 2 can be written as 2 into 3 to the power 0 into 5 to the power 0. This way we can write. Okay. So R2 can take only 2 values, 0 and 1. Okay. R3 can take 4 values, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, not more than that. Okay. So here any divisor of 12,000 is of the form 2 to the power R1, 3 to the power R2 into 5 to the power R3, where you take where R1 can take values 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5. Okay. So how many values? 6 values. 6 possibilities are there for this R1. Then R2 can take values 0 and 1. 0, 1. R3 can take values 0, 1, 2, okay. Right. So what is the number of? So therefore, number of positive divisors of 12,000 is tau of 12,000 is what? Equal to okay. R1 can take 6 values, okay, and for each value of R1, R2 can take 2 values, okay. So that is the multiplication rule. If R1 takes the value say 5, then R2 can take the value 0 or R2 can take the value 1, okay. So for each value of R1, there are 2 possible values of R2, okay. Then similarly, for each pair of R1 and R2, there are 4 values of R3, okay. So we can apply multiplication rule here. So number of positive divisors of 12,000 will be exactly 6 multiplied with, here R2 can take 2 values and R3 can take 4 values. So it is 6 into 2 into 4, okay. So that is 48. So exactly 48. Tau of 12,000 is 48, okay. So how to find out the this value of tau and just prime factorize, okay. Factorize the number, okay, and then see the number of possibilities. So immediately we can have this result, very important result. Okay, so there is a concept called fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Okay, so that also we can write. We will discuss fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Okay. Any positive integer can be expressed as a product of primes. Okay. So and that product is unique. Okay. It is uniquely expressed, the product of primes. So we will use that concept, fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Okay. So a consequence of this theorem, let me state it exactly as given in book. So this was the theorem. Every positive integer n greater than 1 is either a prime or a product of primes. So every positive integer greater than 1. Obviously 1 is not a product of primes. Integer n greater than 1 is either a prime or a product of primes or a product of primes, and this representation is unique. Representation is unique except from the order in which the primes appear. Except from the order in which the primes appear. So this is the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Okay, that means any positive integer greater than 1 has a prime factorization. Okay, and that factorization is unique. Okay. So unique in the sense that say something like 6, somebody may write it as 2 into 3. Somebody may write it as 3 into 2, yeah, but these two are same. So the multiplication is commutative. Okay, so 2 into 3 is same as 3 into 2. Okay, or say 12. Somebody may write it as 2 into 2 into 3. Somebody may write it as 2 into 3 into 2. Okay, so that is not a problem. It's a product of primes. Okay, so exactly the same number of primes. So if a particular prime appears say 3 times in one representation, in another representation also it should appear exactly 3 times. Okay. The order will change. So as a consequence of that, this corollary is there that so if we collect, see, there are equal primes factorial. Okay, there may be repetitions. So we collect the equal primes all together. So here 2 and 2 they are equal primes. So instead of writing it as 2 into 2, we write it as 2 square. Okay. So 2 square is not a prime, right? So that form of writing is called the canonical form. 2 square into 3. So canonical form of writing. Canonical form writing positive integers greater than 1. Positive integers greater than 1. Greater than, what is that canonical form? So let us write. So for the proof it will be required. Any positive integer n greater than 1 can be uniquely written as this. Okay. Any positive integer n greater than 1 can be uniquely written as n equal to p1 to the power say r1 into p2 to the power r2 into pk to the power r3. So where this p1, p2, pk, they are distinct primes. Okay, all these are distinct primes, and we can order it. Okay, so for the canonical form, we adopt the convention that the smallest prime is written first. Mane the primes are written in increasing order. Okay, that is the canonical form. Right. So where we can write where. Okay. Where this Ri is greater than 0, or say Ri belongs to n. Okay, Ri is a positive integer. Okay. So that means we are restricting this because somebody may write 2 as 2 into 3 into 5 to the power 0. In that case, we have to restrict that. Okay, so that is why 0 is not allowed. This powers, in the powers 0 is not allowed. If a prime number doesn't divide that number, that prime number is not in the canonical form. Okay, so we are not writing that. So that is why each Ri has to be natural number. Okay. So where Ri belongs to natural number for all I equal to 1 to up to k, and p1 strictly less than p2 less than pk are distinct primes. Distinct primes. It means they are unequal. So under these restrictions, this expression is always unique. Okay. So for example, 12 can be written as what? 2 square into 3. Only this will be called canonical form, not this. 12 also can be written as 3 into 2 square, but it is not the canonical form because here the primes are not arranged in increasing order. Okay. So primes have to be in increasing order. Okay. So under that condition, we can say the canonical form is unique. So once we write the number in this form, immediately we can have this element. So any divisor of this n will be of the form what? So any divisor of n will be of the form What is the form of this variable? D equal to p1 to the power say s1 into p2 to the power s2 into pk to the power sk. Any divisor of this number, the divisor will have only these prime factors, not anything else. Okay. It may not have all. The divisor may be something with only p1. Okay. Right. The divisor may be something with only p1 and p2. Others power will be 0. So any divisor of this is of the form this where s1 takes values. So what are the values that s1 can take? p1, the highest power is r1. So s1 can take value 0, 1, 2 up to r1. Okay. How many values it will take? Exactly? How many? R1 plus 1. Okay, 0 to R1, there are R1 plus 1 values. Okay. S2 can take value 0, 1, 2 up to R2. Okay, so it can take R2 plus 1. Okay. So similarly, in general, Si can take values 0, 1, 2 up to Ri. Okay. These are the values that this can take. So number of positive divisors will be 1. Therefore, tau of n, once the number is written in canonical form, the number of positive divisors will be exactly what? R1 plus 1 multiplied with R2 plus 1 multiplied with R3 plus 1 Ri. Last one was RK plus 1. So this is the general formula. Express the number in canonical form, okay, and then just multiply with power, one more power, okay, one more than this. Okay. So this is what for tau of n. Okay. Right. So immediately we can do something like this. Okay. What will be this? This is tau of 10 to the power what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So this is what tau of 2 to the power 5 multiplied with 5 to the power. Okay. So it is in canonical form now because 2 and 5 are prime numbers. So the number of this will be divisors. It's 5 plus 1 into 5 plus 1. So this number has exactly 36 divisors. Exactly 36 divisors. Okay. What is the function phi? Phi is also a number theoretic function. So phi is a function from n to n. So it is defined as phi of n equal to number of positive integers less than n and relatively prime to n. Okay. This is the definition of phi of n is number. So this is also called Euler's phi function. Euler's phi function. Okay. So it gives us the number of positive integers which are less than n and relatively prime to n. That means GCD of n with those integers is 1. Okay, relatively prime. Okay, so two numbers a and b are said to be relatively prime if they are GCD. If GCD of AB is 1, then a and b are said to be relatively prime. Okay. So they may not be prime themselves, but they are relatively prime. Number of positive integers less than n and relatively prime to n. So for example, what is this? Less than n and relatively. Oh, acha. This has to be what? Why? For one, it's not defined. It means it's defined to be number of positive integers less than n. So this has to be defined for n greater than or equal to 1. Because for 1 there is no such positive integer, right? We have to modify the domain. Okay, just let me see. We have to modify this domain. Oh, less than or equal. Okay, so I forgot that part. Not strictly less than. The number of positive integers less than or equal. Less than or equal. Not exceeding n. Okay. Less than or equal. Otherwise, for 1 there will be a problem. Okay. For 1, phi of 1 has to be 0. Right. So number of positive integers less than or equal to n. So for that 1 only is not exceeding n. In book it is written as number of positive integers not exceeding n. So let us follow that only. Less than or equal to or not exceeding. And not more than n. This will be less than or equal to n. Number of positive integers not exceeding n and relatively prime. Okay, so what is phi of 1? So there is only one integer which is relatively prime to 1. So that is 1. Okay. phi of 4 is what? What will be phi of 4? Is the number of positive integers less than or equal to 4 relatively prime to 4. So 1 is relatively prime to 4, but 2 is not relatively prime. 2 and 4, the GCD is 2. Okay. 3 is relatively prime. Okay. So how many are there? Only 1 and 3. Okay. So phi of 4 is 2. Okay. Clear? What will be phi of 10? Phi of 10 is the number of positive integers less than or equal to 10 which are relatively prime to 10. So 1 is relatively prime to 10. Then 3 is relatively prime. 4 is not relatively prime to 5, 7, 6 is also not there, 7 is there, and 9 is there. So the number is not relatively prime to itself except if the number is 1. So phi of 10 is actually, do it in 4. Phi of 10 is, so this is the relatively prime concept, right? So let us try one simple thing. Find the sigma of 120. Sum of all possible divisors of 120. Just try what? Can we find it easily? Sigma of 120. Okay. So it is the sum of all positive divisors of 120. Okay. So what are the divisors? 1, 2, then 3 is also a divisor. 4 is a divisor. Okay. So what are the divisors of 120? 1 into 120, then I can write it as 2 into 60, then 3 into 40, then this can be written as 4 into 30, then 5 into 24, no? 6 into 20, then this can be written as 8 plus 8. Is it divisible by 8? 6 into, yeah. So this is there, 8 into no. Oh, 8 is not there. 8 into 15. 8 into, so here it is 2 and here it is 4. 8 into 15. Okay, and then 10 into 12. Okay, and then it will repeat. 12 into 12. Okay, so these are the divisors. These are the divisors of quantity. 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. And then you go this. Okay, so it is school class. Find the divisors of this. So these are the divisors. 1 into this 12. Okay, so our intention is to find out the sum of numbers. 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus 12 plus 15 plus 20 plus 24 plus 30 plus 40 plus 60 plus 120. Okay. We want to find out this sum. Okay. But we don't want to calculate. আমরা এমনি ক্যালকুলেট করতাম না, we will find out a shortcut way to do this. Okay, by expressing this, each of this as a product of primes. Okay, so a product of primes which occur as a here product of prime divisors of this 120. Okay. So 120, if you factorize it, give you of the form 2 into 2 cube into 3 into 5. 120 is this. So can I write 1? How can I write 1? I can write this as 2 to the power 0 into 3 to the power 0 into 5 to the power 0. I can write it this way. Then this 2 I can write as 2 to the power 1 into 3 to the power 0 into 5 to the power 0. Okay, so you write everything else. And then try to take some common. Okay, common one never chesta. You will get a very simple expression, okay, which will help us to find out this. Okay, this 120 is very simple. We could have found out the sum of all positive integers of say 12 lakh. Okay, in that case, listing all the divisors is very difficult. Okay, so we need a better way of doing it. Try. You try writing all this in this form. Okay, and then try to take common. What is the expression that you get? Okay, so first one is here. So sigma of 120 will be 1 plus, so 1 I can write as 2 to the power 0, 3 to the power 0, 5 to the power 0. 2 can be written as 2 to the power 1 into 3 to the power 0 into 5 to the power 0. 3 can be written as 2 to the power 0, 3 to the power 1 into 5 to the power 0. Then 2 square can be written as 2 square into 2 to the power 0 into 5 to the power 0. Okay. 5 can be written as 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 0 into 5 to the power 1. Okay. 6 can be written as 2 to the power 1, 3 to the power 1, 5 to the power 0. So this way you continue. So you will get some idea. Okay. In fact, idea. What is that? And try to combine similar terms. Okay. Try to combine the similar terms. What you will get. সিমিলার টার্ম দেখো কম্বাইন করতে পারো এক ধরনের টার্ম যেমন 2 টু দি পাওয়ার 0 3 টু দি পাওয়ার 0 5 টু দি পাওয়ার 0 ওই 3 টু দি পাওয়ার 0 5 টু দি পাওয়ার 0 দিয়া যেগুলো টার্ম আছে কম্বাইন ঠিক আছে 3 টু দি পাওয়ার 0 5 টু দি পাওয়ার 0 এই ধরনের টার্ম যেগুলো কম্বাইন তারপরে যেমন 3 টু দি পাওয়ার 0 5 টু দি পাওয়ার 1 কম্বাইন ঠিক আছে রাইট so you will get all the terms so this is what 3 this is written as 2 square into 3 to the power 0 into 5 to the power 0 oh no so 2 cubes plus this is 2 into 2 to the power 1 3 to the power 0 5 to the power 1 plus 2 to the power 2 into 2 to the power 1 into 5 to the power 0 plus 2 to the power 0 3 to the power 1 5 to the power 1 plus 2 square into 3 to the power 0 into 5 to the power 1 plus 2 square 2 cube into 3 to the power 0 sorry 3 to the power 1 into 5 to the power 0 plus that can be written as 2 into 3 to the power 1 into 2 square into 2 to the power 1 30 oh sorry 30 is 2 into 3 to the power 1 into 5 to the power 1 okay and then 40 is actually 2 to the power 3 into 5 to the power 0 into 5 60 is 2 square into 3 into 5 and 120 is 2 cube into 3 into 5 okay so now you try to combine it 3 to the power 0 5 to the power 0 this term this term this term another term okay so what do you get if I combine all this I will get 2 to the power 0 plus 2 to the power 1 plus 2 to the power 2 plus 2 to the power 3 multiplied with 3 to the power 0 into 5 to the power no got it okay then try to combine say 3 to the power 0 into 5 to the power 1 3 to the power 0 5 to the power 1 try to combine 3 to the power 0 5 to the power 1 this type of terms okay so if you combine all this again you will get this 2 to the power 0 2 to the power 1 2 to the power 2 2 to the power 3 multiplied with 3 to the power 0 5 to the power 1 okay so next you try 3 to the power 3 to the power 1 5 to the power 0 3 to the power 1 5 to the power 0 3 to the power 1 5 to the power 0 see 2 to the power 0 2 to the power 1 to square 2 so you will get another term here something like this 2 to the power 0 2 to the power 1 to square okay multiplied with 3 to the power 1 into 5 to the power 0 okay another thing is left 3 to the power 1 into 5 to the power 1 3 to the power 1 5 to the power 1 this is there this is there and this is Okay, so it is plus 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 square, 2 cube multiplied with 2 to the power 1 into 5 to the power 1. Okay. So ultimately you see in each again I can take this common in it. Okay. All this again can be taken common. So what is your result here? This result is actually I can write 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 square, 2 cube multiplied with see 3 to the power 0, 5 to the power 0, 3 to the power 0, 5 to the power 1, 3 to the power 1, 5 to the power 0 and plus 3 to the power 1, 5 to the power 1. তারপরে দেখো again I can take common here. 3 to the power 0 multiplied with 5 to the power 0, 5 to the power 1. 3 to the power 1 multiplied with that. So ultimately what is this? 2 to the power 0 plus 2 to the power 1 plus 2 square plus 2 cube multiplied with 3 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1 multiplied with 5 to the power 0. So this is your sum of all possible digits. Okay, so everything comes from the canonical form itself. Okay. From the canonical form, you can find out the sum of all possible digits. Okay. So in general, if you have n equal to p1 to the power r1 into p2 to the power r2 into p3 to the power r3 into pk to the power rk, what do you have? Then what should be your sigma n? Okay, try to write down this expression. Sigma of n equal to what? In general, sigma of n p1 to the power r1, p2 to the power r2, pk to the power rk. Where this is in canonical form. P1, P2, Pk, they are distinct primes. And this is the canonical form. Right. So, what do you think? What will be the expression? First expression again, first product it will be P1 to the power 0 plus P1 to the power 1. Okay. So, what is the first expression? It will be something like this. So here what is that sigma of n? It will be p1 to the power 0 plus p1 to the power 0 is equal to 1. 1 plus p1 square plus up to what? Up to p1 to the power how much? The highest power is r1. p1 to the power r1 is p1 to the power r1 multiplied with 1 plus p2 plus p2 square p2 to the power r2 into, so this will continue 1 plus p3 square plus up to p3 to the power r3 into into 1 plus p1 pk plus pk square pk to the power rk. Okay. So this is the general expression for the sum of all possible digits. Okay. So if the number is given in this form, we can easily find out what is this. Right. So there is a simple formula for this. You have done in school. What is that? P to the power k, say p to the power r minus 1. What is that? This p minus 1 divided by p minus 1 into, what is this formula? Suppose p cube minus 1. What is that? P minus 1 into p square plus p plus 1. So here also we can write it this way. P to the power r minus 1. This can be written as p minus 1 into p to the power r minus 1. Okay. So I want something with r. So it is p to the power r plus 1 minus 1. It is p minus 1 into p to the power r minus 1 into p square plus 1. Okay. So instead of this, I can write what? I can write this one as p1 to the power r1 plus 1 minus 1 divided by p1 minus 1. Okay. Multiplied with p2 to the power R2 plus 1 minus 1 divided by P2 minus 1 into dot 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 plus 1 can be written as Pk to the power Rk plus 1 minus 1 divided by Pk minus 1. So GB, the sum of geometric, how many terms are there? R plus 1 terms of the geometric property. Same thing. So this is the simple expression. Okay. So we can easily find out what it is. Okay. And one important thing, a number theoretic function is said to be multiplicative. Note it here. So this will be required in some of the things. A number theoretic function. Theoretic function is multiplicative. If theoretic function f is multiplicative if f of m into n can be written as f of n multiplied with f of n whenever GCD of